I love the Boys and Girls Club organization, and I can tell you from personal experience, it changes lives. Each of these children have made a choice to rise above their circumstances, be the good that they know the world needs. Last year, you got to hear from my daughter, Caitlin Hayden, an amazing young lady who, despite many obstacles in her life, found hope and support through the staff members at the Boys and Girls Club. For as long as I can remember, I knew I wanted to be a mother. I couldn't pick a career to save my life, but I wanted to be a mom. Unfortunately, the promise of a happy family abruptly came to an end before Caitlin was 4 years old. Her father began experiencing symptoms of what we now know to be manic bipolar disorder. Caitlin was old enough to start saving to memory a lot of the incidents that occurred while she was with her dad. And although I will never know everything she experienced at that time, I know that many of the memories left her feeling scared and afraid to be alone with her dad. And almost overnight, I became a single mother. Their dad had to go live with a family member, and I was left alone with 3 kids, the boys still being in diapers. My first instinct, being a single mother, was to do everything myself. Once the 2 oldest kids were in school, I made the decision to relocate to northern Colorado, taking a higher paying job to support our family. We got settled in a home, and although the kids had to start a new school, make new friends, and adjust to life in a new city away from family, their father was now getting the help he needed so they could visit him. Finding childcare, as most of you may know, is a nightmare. We didn't know anyone, and I had never left my kids alone with anyone I didn't know before. After sharing this with a coworker, she suggested that I look into the Boys and Girls Club. Her kids were going to a club in Fort Collins, and they absolutely loved it. She stressed to me how late they stayed open and that they fed the kids. A win-win for me. She told me that there was even a club in Loveland and not too far from our work. So I signed them up. Caitlin started going to the club when she was 8 years old. She joined all the programs and often came home with stories about her favorite staff members and friends she had made. The kids were happy and thriving, or so I thought. Caitlin, as a preteen, started spending more and more time alone in her room, often distancing herself from family activities. As a mom, I just thought she needed her own space away from me and her often crazy brothers. One day, while going to pick her up from a Boys and Girls Club activity, I was taken aside by Caitlin's mentor and club staff member, Ashley Pro. Ashley proceeded to tell me that during a girls' group, Caitlin made a cry for help. She had been depressed for some time and had thoughts of suicide. My heart broke. The ugly cry you hear about, that was me. Ashley sat and talked with me, offering words of encouragement and a plan of action. She allowed me to collect myself before taking my children home. After putting the boys to bed that evening, Caitlin and I sat down and talked, and I asked her why she didn't tell me what she was going through. Caitlin said she didn't want me to have one more thing to worry about, so she was keeping it inside. When the feelings were getting too big for her to handle, she knew she needed to get help. So Ashley was her safe haven. The proverb, "It takes a village to raise a child," rang very powerful for me that day and in days since. It really does take an entire community to raise children. I was humbled by the fact that I could not do it by myself. I will forever be grateful to the Boys and Girls Club for saving my daughter that day.